Hello everyone, Tarryn the Traveling Trainer of GoTarryn Personal Training here out of the greater Atlanta area with episode 542. And for the very first time, all the way from the greater Boise, Idaho area, we have Ms. Chrissy Larsen about to join us here on GoTarryn TV. And before we get to Chrissy, if I could please ask everyone out there to make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, when you're watching the video interview with Chrissy, if you'd please be so kind to leave us a comment, like the video, and share it with all of your friends and family on your social media. And as far as Chrissy Larsen goes, she's going to be here, folks. I'm going to ask her one simple question, and that is, why the health not? That's right, folks. She is the founder and chief executive officer of Why the Health Not, and you're going to find out here why she truly is a digital health and wellness tech visionary. And I cannot wait to talk to her because this is going to truly be a treat. Here to be able to talk to Chrissy Larsen for the very first time. So when we come back, folks, we're going to be having her on here, and she's going to tell you why the health not. And in the meantime, remember, GoTarryn Personal Training is your time, your investment, in your life. We'll be right back, folks. Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV, and we're back here with a new person that we're interviewing here all the way from Boise, Idaho, and she is a digital health and wellness tech visionary. She's also the founder and chief executive officer of Why the Health Not, and her name is Ms. Chrissy Larsen. Chrissy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me on your show.
My pleasure. Thanks for the acceptance and coming on. And we were talking before we recorded. I was telling Chrissy that I was really admiring the background, her studio, and she's done plenty of these podcasts, but this is the first time that we're doing one together. And she's a podcaster herself. You're going to be able to learn a lot more information about Chrissy. But Chrissy, the first question I had for you, you've worn a lot of hats, and you've been involved in health and wellness. With many good years of really strong, seasoned experience and a true fitness professional of everything I've researched on you. But before we jump into the WTHN, Why the Health Not brand, let me ask you to please tell everyone out there a little bit about yourself. Are you from Idaho? How did you get to Boise, Idaho? And how did you get into health and wellness?
Sure. So I spent 16 years in health education, and I kind of worked in every aspect of preventative health care, from cancer treatment centers to sports medicine. I worked with complementary integrative centers, and I owned wellness centers since I was 20. The reason I went into that field is when I was 11 years old, my uncle passed away from colon cancer. And my mom was in hospice care, and she worked with she worked in a mental hospital, and so she did a lot of outside care. So I spent a lot of time in hospitals. And when you're working with individuals that are dying or they're sick, you end up seeing and hearing a lot of whys. Why is this happening to me? What could have been done? Why did I get this? And so it made me want to, I knew I wanted to go in some type of the medical field or health field. Mm-hmm. But it really compelled me to want to be in the why business. How could we help? How could we change and take control of our lifestyle? Can diseases be prevented? And can we have a longer, healthier life? And that's kind of what brought me to where I'm at today.
Excellent. That's awesome. And have you been in the Boise, Idaho area pretty much all your life? Is that where you're from?
I was born and raised in Boise, Idaho.
Very cool. Excellent. That's awesome. And let me ask you this, Chrissy, because, again, you just mentioned, too, you've done a lot, and I've had a lot of experience, including being a professional business owner, as you mentioned, a wellness coach, community leader. And so what I wanted to ask you is to go way back into the beginning in your fitness and health career. Can you tell us a little bit about, you're a licensed massage therapist, correct?
I am, yes.
Yeah, so how did you get into that, and what was your interest with massage therapy?
Sure, so health maintenance is kind of a really big thing with me, and massage is 100% health maintenance.
Okay.
So when I started going into working in that field, you're really sore when you're working out all the time, if you're kickboxing or working out. So you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle and get massage. And I loved it so much that I decided I would become a licensed massage therapist as well.
Very cool. And then also in conjunction with that, you were a Pilates instructor too. Is that right?
I did. Yep, I was a Pilates instructor. I worked with a functional medicine doctor, and in order to be his assistant, I needed to work on core fitness, and
Hmm.
so that's when I went and got the license to be a Pilates instructor.
Very cool. And then chronologically, can you tell us about your time at European Day Spa and what you did there with that spa there?
Sure. So I bought European Day Spa. When I transitioned from working with the Complementary Medicine Center, I purchased a European Day Spa. And it was really that, I guess, my time where I was more of the froof massage,
Hmm.
understanding how individuals use it for more the beauty and just feeling great about themselves.
Hmm.
So if you look at the behavioral aspects of that, it's really cool to see that people and what matters to them and what type of how they integrate beauty with health maintenance. So it was a cool time in my life to be able to work in that field.
Excellent. And then I think after that, you left and went to the Health and You Wellness Center. Is that correct?
It's healing you.
Healing You. I'm sorry, my notes are a little bit. I can't read my own handwriting sometimes.
Yeah, that's actually a funny story how we named that business. There was I bought a location, and next to me there was a company that had gone out of business. It was called Health Nuts.
Health
And
nuts.
they had this really great sign. And I was like, man, if I bought that sign, I could get it for a discounted rate. How could I change Health Nuts into a name of a business that I could utilize and repurpose that sign? And so we started working with all of the letters and we came up with Healing You. And so that's how we became, like,
Oh, that is
we
really cool.
repurposed Health Nuts.
That's awesome. I love that. And you also do a lot of different activities as well. Can you tell us a little bit about Web.com tour? They're what they call Alberston's Boise Open. It seems like you've been there for quite some time as a volunteer in customer service and product distribution.
Sure. So my father started working with the Boise Open when it very first came and started in Boise. So I grew
Okay.
up every single year at the tour.
Okay.
My father did everything from running and working with the parking, and then he eventually moved to the distribution, and then working for Nationwide Tour and the PGA Tour. The year my mother passed away from breast cancer, my father passed away this past year from a heart attack. But the year that
Oh.
my mom passed away, they actually had both received Volunteer of the Year for both the PGA and the Nationwide Tour. But it was a
Oh.
family event, so it brought us together, and we would all do it. So it was amazing. I loved all my time that I've spent with the Boise Open.
That's excellent. I assume you still go there too every year, pretty much.
Yeah, my father just
Mhm.
passed away, so we've always been there, and yeah, so I we look for the future every single year. You know that during that time frame, it had switched over the years from September to July, and then now back to September again. So you know that in September you're going to be on the golf course working with the Boise Open.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chrissy, I'm really sorry to hear that about your father very recently, and I know you said your mother, of course, some years ago, and at the beginning of the blog you were mentioning your uncle as well. So I guess that's a good transition now to talk about why the health not. And the concepts behind it, your visionary statement, your mission statement, and what it's all about. So, for anybody out there who doesn't know about Why the Health Not, and they can look into it, first question for the company of that, and you touched on this a little bit too a few minutes ago, but how did you come up with the name?
So for why the health not is really asking why. My entire life and career has been about asking more, asking what could be done different, how could
Mm-hmm.
we uh, take control of our own personal well-being.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny how the name actually came. I was um, working out and I was watching a cooking show and I saw this chef and he put some cilantro into a dish and someone was like, "Did you just throw cilantro in that dish?" And he was like, "Yeah, why the hell not?" And I was like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant because it's everything. Because I was trying to figure out, do I want to transition Healing You into this new company? Because I loved how it was different, healing you and making a new you.
Hmm.
And so we really loved, I'm big on words and making it having meaning behind it. And so when I saw that, I looked into it and I bought everything. The moment I'm right there on my phone and I'm like, I'm buying everything, the .com, the .org, everything that has
Smart.
to go with it. And I was
Hmm.
like, that's perfect because it encompasses everything that I support with what we do, asking why and about health. And so then we moved into our platform is called Holicity, and so Holicity is the wholeness of whole health and wellness, and then Hope is our health oriented pairing engine. And you can't overcome adversity, diversity, and everything else without embracing hope. So we're very punny.
I like that. How did you come up with the 6 pillars of wellness, and what is that all about, too?
Okay, so when in my wellness centers, we had created a process. When you have patients or clients come into you, they come in and they're telling you about what's bothering them today.
Hmm.
What is their surface problems? Where do they hurt? What would they like to be addressed in the session that you're working with them? Well, very rarely is the surface problem the only problem that they're dealing with. You have to identify what is the root cause
Hmm.
and help them to understand what those contributing factors are. Are they not sleeping enough? Are they abusing their body in some way or another? What are they doing? And to take ownership for that root cause, because once they can own it, now they can overcome it, and we can give them the pathway, the tool, and the resources in order to address those surface problems. And I'm not just sticking a band-aid on those surface problems. I'm actually allowing them to fix them long term, because you don't want to just come in and fix someone and that the moment they leave, they're going to do something that's going to make it come back.
Right.
Because for one, they're going to blame you for not actually fixing the problem because they're not taking ownership for the fact that they're probably the main cause of it. And it's not going to be a long-term success and solution. So with that, when you look at the social determinants of what an individual is dealing with and you're looking at a root cause, a surface problem is compounded by how much stress is in their life. Are they dealing with financial problems? Are they having a social impact where their peers are causing them to feel a certain way about themselves? Are they emotionally unstable? There's all these contributing factors that start to weigh down on us. We're like, if you go back to Shrek, do you remember Shrek where he's like, I'm an onion, I've got many layers? Well, we all are Shreks. We all have these many layers. And so we just made it a little bit easier by breaking it down into 6 pillars. Each one of those pillars is very diverse and there's layers within, but at least if we can help to identify those contributing factors, give you pathways to kind of look at each one of those areas of your life and then to build upon creating a way to overcome and excel in every aspect of your life, then that's where the 6 pillars come into. Does that make
Wonderful. Oh,
sense?
yeah, that's absolutely great. I like that. And um, what about the services provided? Let's talk about when someone goes into the website and is interested and wants to go ahead and sign up. Can you tell us about the different? And I know that some of this they can go on the website to see what the options are, but what are some of the different services that they can expect from being able to sign up on WTHN Media?
Sure. So we're a multi-dimensional platform,
Hmm.
and we've looked at the multi-generational aspects of that. So when you're looking and you're working with the I generation, the millennials, Generation X, baby boomers,
Hmm.
everyone's perspective is very different from where their mindset about health and wellness is very different. So you have to look at those aspects, and then you can't. For me, I don't feel like you can just offer one area of a solution without looking at the whole. So if I'm going to create a whole health solution, I really need to look at all the different contributing factors. So we call one of the user bases health seekers, which would be you or I. We're a health seeker. And then we pair those individuals with products, services, and experts. So that's our professional network. And then we have a third factor, which is employer. So we've essentially created a hybrid version or a wellness 2.0 of historically successful corporate wellness programs. Corporate wellness programs are historically one of the longest running and statistically successful programs that have offered a proactive wellness solution since 1980. So that it gives that historical backing and support to what we're doing, because everyone thinks, oh, you've got this really great idea, but can you show me proof? What backs your idea? So if you have something that has been working since 1980, obviously that's a lot of proof behind it. We worked on looking at successful dating sites, so Match.com, OkCupid, and the way that they look at the behaviors and the motivators of an individual and why they choose certain individuals to be paired with. How do they pair with a love match? So if you look at the core competency of an individual and the root wants and needs, and you take that into effect when you're pairing them, you can now match, just like you would on a dating site. We can now match you with professional experts, products, and resources that create the perfect life match for you. So what we've done is we've taken the approach that has worked for many other companies and made it have to do with health. So it's not really a new concept, it's just a new approach.
Yeah, to me that's a new concept because I think that's really innovative. I've never heard of what you just described in terms of being able to offer that, at least not here in the greater Atlanta area. So that's really interesting. I myself am a personal trainer, mostly in-home traveling trainer. So is that something also that's, I guess, one of the different tangents that you offer as a service provider, then matching people with like a personal trainer?
Absolutely. So
Cool.
personal trainers, right? We need to be being a personal trainer, you need someone to stay on task. If you're giving them, this is generally you're working with their nutrition, you're working with their exercise regimen, and you're really working with their mindset, because it has a lot to do with compelling them and engaging them and keeping them looking forward and staying on track, right?
Yep.
So this is the tools to do that. So we've integrated all of the latest and greatest digital devices that you can track. We have nutritional tracking, and then we have daily motivation that is engaged within the system. So you know the dopamine effect when you post a picture and someone likes it, or you get a new notification, or you get an email that you've been wanting for, or when you have an iPhone and someone is typing and you can see them typing, like, oh my gosh, they're typing. I know they're saying they're responding right now, and you're so excited. So we live in a society of social acceptance. We want to be accepted, and it's like a drug to us. That's why YouTube is so popular.
Mm-hmm.
So we integrated that social gamification in order to keep people engaged, because we calculate and then we gamify and visually show everything you do. So how many steps, how many articles you read, maybe even down to how much music did you listen to versus how much TV did you watch. So eventually in the future, we'll be able to track anything and everything in our life that we want to. In our system, that's a win. So no matter what you did in your life that day, it visually computes for you on a visual infographic of your life to show you that you're moving forward. So it's actually called nexting. We're using our frontal lobe to be emotionally engaged with our lifestyle. So it's always keeping people engaged and moving forward and thinking ahead. Mm-hmm. So they're not just YOLOing it, because believe me, when you're sitting next to someone in hospice care and they're dying, the last thing they're saying on their deathbed is YOLO, I'm on to the next thing. And so what they're doing, and generally what they talk about, is not the regrets of what they did, but the regrets of what they didn't do.
Hmm.
So we need to lift that veil of the limitations that we set for ourselves and compel people to do what they want to do, to take those trips, to save for the future, to go after that job promotion. Mm-hmm. So it's really a forward-thinking system that supports and says, lets anyone say that there's no limitations except for the limitations you set for yourself. And as a personal trainer, you know that. You see people lift that bar every single day. The moment they lift that bar and they're encouraged to do something else, they take it to the next level of success and then the next level of success. And that's the greatest thing about being a life coach or a personal trainer, is getting to see that change in someone every single day. It's beautiful.
I agree, totally. That's excellent, Chrissy. You were mentioning a few minutes ago when we were talking about the 6 pillars, to relate that to personal training. I could totally relate when you were mentioning about, like in my case, when I'm training someone and they go home and they, don't do their homework, or they're not losing weight, and they come back and complain, and well, it must be, the personal trainer's fault. But I like what you said, though. Definitely, there needs to be some kind of self-accountability in there, and so I like that you guys offer that in terms of being able to be very engaging and helping them stay on track, stay the course, so to speak, and being a health coach to them, or a wellness coach too. That's good. Can you tell us, Chrissy, a little bit about your team members now? Let's talk about the WTHN staff. What does it comprise of? And tell us about some of the people that work with you.
Sure. So my team is kind of diverse, and we're all over the place. So when you're building something like this, I am in Boise, Idaho. So there isn't a huge progressive tech, health tech company here. So I've had to reach out to all over the world, Hong Kong. My main dev team is out of Salt Lake. My CFO is in Denver. Our other partners are in New York and Houston. So we really kind of have a team built all over. But when you're building a cloud system and you're working with something like this, that really doesn't matter. And that's the cool thing about how small the world has become by having this social connection. So I have an incredible team, and it's only growing larger as we bring on more investors and more money to build the system. It allows us to really incorporate the team. You can't do this without an incredible team. So it's been amazing to meet some really brilliant individuals, and for them to educate me and to support me in my vision and mission, and actually make it a reality based on just their brilliance.
Yeah, and I could attest to that too, Chrissy, because when I was looking at the website, people can see this too. The About page tab of the people that you're working with, very, very impressive, and that's very impressive too, knowing that they're all over, the place, like all over the world, I guess you could say. And like you said, we're able to do this, you and I being able to Skype here face-to-face, something we probably couldn't do, 10 or 15 years ago or such. But it's good to take advantage of that now, and, of course, social media. How about, I want to ask you about blogging, Chrissy, because I know that you've written some really nice, good blogs, which are available as well on your website. What do you find your passion with? I guess it's probably not a one kind of answer, but what topics and discussions do you like to personally blog about that you have interest in?
Well, obviously I'm very interested in health and technology, mm-hmm. and the advancement of the future, lifting the bar, not setting limitations for yourself, being a female. So I came from a practical education stance to now a female tech founder out of Boise, Idaho. People are like, who the hell are you? Why the hell should I listen to you? So I really kind of had to make myself, to lift the bar for myself, mm-hmm. and because I have a great idea, and it's not just me building this idea. There's brilliant people from all around the world that can help me do this. That's why I'm capable of doing it, because I have the vision, I have the passion behind it, and I'm smart enough to find the individuals to help me build it. So I like to talk about that. I like to geek. I'm a huge geek.
That's excellent. And speaking of individuals helping you out, I want to ask you about the concept of a wellness pioneer and the acronym of HOPE, Health-Oriented Pairing Engine. Can you tell us about that a little bit, please?
Sure, absolutely. So when you're trying to make a monumental shift in something, something that has been done a certain way for as long as most individuals can remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm essentially proposing a system redesign of the healthcare. The way that we look at healthcare, the way we talk about it, and the way that we conceptualize it as an individual. So when you're looking at that, that means that in the future, everything that we have crafted and the way that we have articulated the system before is outdated. Now becomes we need to shift the language. We need to change and create proactive protocols. We need to move forward with the way that we're educating our children and the children of the future. So if that's the case, then we need all of these wellness pioneers. So on our platform, like I said earlier, a healthcare individual could be a social educator, a spiritual leader, or a financial advisor. So we really broaden the spectrum of who is a healthcare provider. So once again, we need to create new literature that supports that mission, supports that idea. So these wellness pioneers are individuals, experts within that realm that comes on, and we've created a team, a very large team of medical bloggers, writers, individuals to help them repurpose all of their education and literature that they've had. So it's not that we necessarily need to wipe it all out. We just need to repurpose it and change the languaging and the format a little bit in order to be a little more proactive rather than a sick care system. So these early adopters, they get access to all of our tools. They have our team to help us repurpose what they're doing. We help them to identify their core competency. What is their core competency and what is their different services that they offer, so that our pairing metrics can efficiently pair health seekers with these experts. So that's what it is these individuals that get to come on, they get a very discounted rate. They get $2,500 versus $299 a month SaaS service fee in the future. So it saves a lot of money for them, and they get to be a part and behind what we're doing. So they get a voice as we're still crafting and building the system. Their ideas can be computed into the idea. They get to test all of the sprints that we're taking, as you know, each couple weeks when we release a new product or a new update within the system. They get to test it for us, and they get to give us internal feedback, which in the future, you know, as you start growing as a company, you don't quite get as much hands-on touch with the C team, I guess you would say. So it kind of gives you that accessibility.
Wonderful.
What was the other part of that question that you asked about the HOPE?
Yes, the acronym of HOPE. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so health-oriented pairing engine. So we wanted to come up with something that, when you're talking about a pairing engine, a lot of people, that's still kind of a foreign language. They don't really understand what that is. Mm-hmm. But if we're inspiring hope with individuals and we're offering hope, that just simplifies and kind of makes it make sense to the average person.
Okay, that's good. Excellent. Well, I like that, Chrissy. You answered that very eloquently. And again, like I said, everything can be found right on our website, so we're going to make sure we plug that here. So, Chrissy, this has flown by so quickly. I can't believe you and I have been chatting for nearly half an hour. I promised I'd get you out of here in time. So if you have a couple minutes here, can you please tell us if anybody out there is watching and visiting you for the first time, and if they want to ask you why the health not, how do they reach you directly and learn more about WTHN?
Yeah, so actually I prefer LinkedIn as a network channel. It's a great way to contact me, so there isn't my team in between. If you email me on the website, we have the team that's generally going to respond. If you're interested in talking to me personally or have questions about the network, connect with me on LinkedIn, and then you're going to get a personal response.
Perfect. Very good. Well, that's great, Chrissy. And again, I really appreciate you coming on the show. that's how you and I got connected. I reached out to you on LinkedIn, and so definitely, Chrissy's very responsive. I can definitely say that I've enjoyed speaking to you on the first video blog you and I have done, and let's definitely do another one here in the very near future and pick out some fun topics. And again, this was a lot of fun. This was a great time. So I really appreciate you coming on, Chrissy, and answering my question of why the health not. So keep up the great work you're doing out there. And as we fade to black here, Chrissy, we're going to have your information on the screen for anybody to take down just in case. So again, thank you so much. Happy New Year, and we'll hope to talk to you soon here again, Chrissy.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.